Hi guys! Since so many of you requested a Suicide Squad Enchantress repaint, that's what we're doing today. Throughout the movie she looks like she's surrounded by dark magic, however I don't have any of that, but I hope you enjoy the video anyway. For this project I worked on this made to move doll, which I chose specifically because it has a closed mouth smile and not a big open one since it wouldn't really fit the character. I prefer to work on the head and body separately, so gently remove the head from the body. Even though the doll already has dark hair, it's a bit too short, so we're going to cut it away. I removed the rest of the hair by pulling out the glue from the inside of the head. I chose not to reroot for this one, but if you want to, do it now before you start repainting. Use acetone nail polish remover to remove the factory paint. Wash the face before priming it with 3 layers of Mr. Super Clear spray. For the actual repaint I used my watercolor pencils along with an eraser and a few shades of chalk pastel. Since the doll is naturally smiling, I had to kind of fake a smile line going down at each corner of the mouth to try and make up for that. Apart from that, I worked as I usually do during my repaints by building up the colors of both the pencils and the chalk pastels in layers and sealing again with the Mr. Super Clear spray whenever I want to save my progress and then work on top. I wanted her mouth to look slightly open, so I blended in some black pastel to kind of fake that look, and then I used a small piece of an eraser to fix the shape. The shading on her face is quite dark, but I started using a light brown to sketch out where the shades was gonna go, and then I worked my way up gradually I couldn't really find any information on what the marks on her face was supposed to say, so I just watched some reference pictures and then scribbled in the right areas. I reached a point where it didn't really help to build up the white pencil anymore in the eyes, so I used the watercolor effect on a small brush to get it really white and stand out against the black shading. I used a black pencil in the same way to darken around the lash lines. Once I was happy with the general look, I used the watercolor effect again on the white pencil to add the reflection in the eyes. Then it was ready for the final spray and seal. Leave the face to dry completely before moving on to the hair. Today I'll be using this viscose doll hair that I got from Treasure Dolls on eBay. If you want, you can also make your own doll hair using yarn, which I've shown in a previous video. I like making the hair into wefts, so it's a little easier to control. I did this by spreading a line of glue on a tile for a smooth surface, then spreading on some hair, making sure it's a thin layer, and then brushing the glue into the top section. Once dry, you can cut away the excess glue and our weft is ready. I glued the hair directly onto the head since it was going to stay in a specific hairstyle, but you can make a wig if you want. For the top part of the hair, I glued it going towards the front, covering her face, so that when the glue had dried on the wefts, we could slide it back. Gather the top hair and glue it in place. While the hair is drying, we're gonna make the headpiece she wears. I made mine from some recycled cardstock and just cut out an open moon shape. I painted it with some alcohol ink to make it look like old rusty metal, but you can use acrylic paint as well. Finish it up with a layer of Mod Podge to seal it in, and then you're ready to glue it onto the hair. And that's the head done. Now onto the body. As many other Barbies, this doll has some permanent underwear, which kinda clashes with this character since Enchantress is pretty sparsely dressed, so I'm going to use this sanding sponge to remove it. Then I primed the body with the Mr. Super Clear spray before I started the actual repaint. Just like with the markings on the face, I just did my best to replicate what I could tell from the reference pictures. Dust on brown pastel sporadically all over the body, building it up to black at the hands and feet. When you're all finished, seal in the body with a spray of Mr. Super Clear. For her outfit, I started with the neck piece by taking some copper beads, turning this into a small necklace and wrapping this around the doll. I added some alcohol ink to the beads to try and make them match the rest of the outfit. Then I added the dangling charm, which I made the same way I did the moon piece for the head. For her top, I took this fake leather fabric and cut it into small squared pieces, measuring them as I went, and glued them on the doll to create this kind of bra shape. After I was done with that, I added another cardstock piece in between the two sides, before cutting small pieces of wire to connect it to the top. Next you want to take some thin chain and add this for straps. I then took some small jump rings along with the chain and a cardstock circle like before to make the centerpiece to hang from the top. I won't glue it in place until the end though, so I just didn't want it to get tangled. For the bottom of her clothing, I took some sketchbook paper and cut it into small squares before painting it with alcohol ink and sealing it in with Mod Podge like before. I then glued them onto a piece of the same fabric as we used for the top. Apply this to the doll along with some more cardstock circles and some chain. I just added a simple piece of the fabric to the back since I couldn't find any reference to what she looked like from behind. For the kinda chain sleeves she's wearing, I decided to glue small jump rings directly onto her arms and then in between glue tiny mini beads to form the chain. You can use the real chain if you want to, however the one I had was just way too chunky and it would just have looked weird, so that's why I chose to do it this way. And if you do it by gluing like I did, just make sure you stay clear of the elbow joint so she can still move. To finish off the sleeves, I added strips of paper that I painted to the top and bottom. Then I added alcohol ink to the top to make it match the rest. Overall, my outfit here ended up being a little more goldish bronze than in the movie where it's more black and green, but I had to kind of match it to the chain I could get and it would have looked all off if it was all different colors, so that's why I did it this way. Now all that's left to do is add the centerpiece we made previously and the last few bits of chain, and then we're done. So here's our final Enchantress doll. It was pretty hard to find good reference, but I'm very happy with how the doll turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. If you have any other requests for future repaints, do leave me a comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.